to this week's episode of Crypto City. If you are up in the Northeast, I want to take a moment to tell you all to stay safe in this blizzard that we're having right now, and just be careful if you're shoveling. If you don't have to go out, please don't go out. Just stay safe and warm. This is part of Northeast winter, but it has not been pleasant. So definitely in the record books on this one. And tonight we are going to have QutieDaSweetest from Horizon Worlds come out and talk to us about her work, her creations, and her journey in VR, and some other things that we're going to discuss. Before we bring her out, I want to kind of talk about Meta's big news this week, that they're going to be sunsetting the VR model of their platform and just be focusing on the mobile platform. I know that there are a lot of people in our audience who are creators, who've built worlds, who have built fashion, and they built businesses in this ecosystem that Horizon created for everyone, especially with the Meta Creator program. And for, those who have really invested, it's been an emotional journey hearing this news this week. And also it's been kind of devastating for some people who have made that a business for themselves. Sometimes, platform shifts are a part of tech cycles, and we've seen it with social media. We've seen it with Web3 platforms, with streaming, and now again in the immersive spaces. We've seen it happen before with alt space, where it was like, an early stages of VR for people who were, coming in COVID. It was a huge neighborhood and community, and it was just taken away. And it did cause a huge rollout effect. So hopefully people learned from the alt space issues that happened and, from Horizon's standpoint, have, diversified themselves a little bit more so it wasn't as impactful. The question isn't just why did this happen, but how do creators navigate ecosystems that they can't control? So tonight isn't about blame. It's about understanding risk and resilience and what the future looks for VR content creators. So with that said, I'm going to ask you to please welcome to the stage QutieDaSweetest. Please join us.
Hey,
welcome.
Hey. How y'all doing?
Thank you for coming tonight.
Here. For sure.
Come
Happy
on over
to be here.
and grab a seat. Thank you.
Okay.
So, welcome, and beautiful avatar, by the way. It's absolutely stunning. So, very nice.
I appreciate it so much.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to give a shout out to the creator?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to Plush Barbie for my custom avatar. She did her thing. If y'all don't know about Plush Barbie, she's over here and she's doing her thing. I met her first in Horizon World, but now she's over here. So you can go and hit her up if you want a custom avatar. And yeah, she does her thing, like face sculpture, everything. So yeah, she's fire.
Really nice. Okay, yeah. So I mentioned you are predominantly a Horizon creator, come in here and you're navigating VR. That's where you chose as your home. Why don't we talk a little bit about how you came in and why you chose Horizon?
Well, when I first found Horizon, I actually never had been on a headset, never saw knew nothing about virtual reality at all, and so of course it was like during COVID time and everybody was looking for something new to do or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was going through a real bad depression at this time, and so I was kind of like trying to find my way. And I saw my brother doing something, like I said before. I saw him with this thing on his face and he was like having a good time and boxing and doing all type of stuff. And so I'm like, man, what is that? So I end up getting it. And I love dinosaurs and stuff. So I started watching dinosaurs and all of this. And then one day I stumbled across Horizon World. And once I got in and got into the studio and saw like all of the things it was to do, it was basically everything else that I saw. It was the Horizon World that kind of had me stuck on the headset. It was like, I got to get my own. It's like after I saw Horizon, I went and I got my own. And ever since that, it's 4 years ago, I've been in here. Horizon World's been my, that's my stuff though. So yeah.
So I've seen a lot of your work over in Horizon. You've made some beautiful wearables for the people over there, or for the avatars, I should say. We're going to talk a little bit about a bunch of the different talents that you have, but let's talk about, when you began creating custom clothes and wearables over there. So you came into the headset never doing this before. Did you have some sort of fashion design experience in the real world, or was this something you came in and you saw an opportunity and decided to jump on it?
So in the real world, I do draw. I can draw. And I also sing, but when I used to do like shows, I always like would sew and like add diamonds to bustiers and all that. Like I always, because I have a heavier top part, so I'm like, okay, I always wanted to have like the pretty, pretty things to wear on stage when I sing or whatever. So I kind of already had a little bit of experience in like creating my own clothes, but like this type of creation, never. But I had the eye for it. And being an artist, it's kind of like I apply my art to the clothes and stuff. So that's the same thing I do now with doing my clothes and everything like that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen, you've made ball gowns. I know that Tink had an event where you created the ball gowns for the people to wear. You've created, with this new Meta Creator program, you've done a lot of the clothing lines. You have stores and boutiques over there. So, what does the commissioned design process kind of look like in VR? Because even though you're doing it in Horizon, people are doing wearables and stuff over here too. That process when you decide, hey, I'm going to create, I'm going to sell, how do you get that mindset together and say, I can make something that people will want? Is it simply because you think your designs are great, or is it because you see a need for it in the metaverse?
Well, I think my designs are great. And then I got a lot of friends and stuff. I kind of pay attention to what people like. And a lot of times I create what I like. You know what I'm saying? So it starts out with me creating something that I love, and then I go to my friends and then they see it, and it's like I kind of go from there. It's my head. I'm always creating, So in my head, it's everything I do. I jump from thing to thing. But when it comes down to creating clothes, I was always trying to put out something different, and just something that stands out, because it's so many people creating. So it's like you have to make sure that your stuff stand out and that it's something that you feel like they represent you. So that's what I've been doing when it comes to my clothes. I like how it's up there.
I love the colors. I've been to a couple of your stores because you have a few stores over there, and the clothing lines are very striking. You've got some really colorful stuff, but then you've also got some things that are like maybe more, whether it's supporting or advertising a team or a neighborhood, different things like that. Your clothing is very expressive, would be a great word for it. So these ideas that you're coming up with, like what's inspiring you to come up with these ideas?
Man, I'm going to tell you, a lot of times I shock myself when it comes down to creating clothes, and I will put on some Sade or some Raheem Devon. And the next thing I know, I step back and I've been and created something beautiful. And it's like, I always say my slogan is like, stand out and be extra. And so when it comes down to like, especially with colors, I feel like, so all my life, a lot of people don't know this about me, but when I was in school, I really didn't like attention, and I wore all black. I was very gothic. And so I felt like, and it was a beautiful thing, but I got called a witch, and it was like, I wanted my hair black. I wore the black lipstick, the black, everything. And so people would be like, oh, she's a witch. And there was one time either when a dude asked me outright, he came to my house and he could see the plugins in the window, and he ran. He went to school the next day. Like, she was trying to do witchcraft on me. And so my whole life, it was just like black. And so when I got to a certain stage, I started to change my hair colors, and I started to be more vibrant. And I realized that like I didn't have to hide behind black all the time, which black is beautiful color, don't get me wrong, but it was like those colors. So I basically applied that to my clothing line too. It's Cutie Couture, which is my clothing line now. And it's like, I try to apply the colors that people like scared of. Even with men, like men be scared to wear colors, but then I got my best friend, which is Underboss. He put on them colors for him. Like he's one of the freshest people they say in the metaverse, because he wear my stuff too. And it's the vibrance. It's like
I
being
love
able to
that.
step out and be seen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put that stuff on. You gotta put it on. So yeah,
That's so
most
funny.
definitely.
My personal clothing in the real world, my closet is about 95% black and about 3% color, and like the other 2% is like random, like maybe camo and stuff like that. So I am like all black, so I get that. And then the funny part is the part that's color is bright. Like I have like neon things and stuff like that, which is so, because I go from complete black to completely bright. But I get that. So you've hosted fashion shows and you've been involved in fashion contests and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about like the inspiration and what it's like being part of that here in the metaverse.
So being in the metaverse and being in these fashion shows it's a really dope experience. It's like you get a chance to really show off what you can do. You get a chance to like be with other people that's doing the same thing as you, but in a totally different way. So it's super dope. It's like when it come down to me, I'm one of those type of people that I look at everything people do instead of being jealous of. I love it. It's like I'm happy you doing your thing your way, because it's beautiful to me for us to all be doing the same thing but so different. So being in those fashion shows and being able to like throw the fashion shows and let people see what I do, it's a beautiful experience. Like it's dope. It's just dope. It's just dope. Especially in the metaverse. It's like you really showing off all of your different styles at one time. And I've been in a lot of fashion shows and I've done a lot. So yeah, it's a really dope experience, man. It is.
So with the fashion shows, do you find, obviously here in the metaverse, anybody can be anything. So people who are the most introverted can walk down that red carpet and flaunt their clothes that they got in here. And it's different in that aspect. But do you find that there are some similarities to doing like a runway fashion show in the real world too?
Yeah, I feel like everything we do in the metaverse is probably the same as you would do in the real world, I would say. I feel like, but when you in the headset, you don't have to really show your real self, so you can be more confident when doing it. I know it's like people who probably would never walk a real runway, but in the metaverse, they flaunt that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It gives you more confidence and everything. So yeah, I think it's the similarities, but at the same time, it's a little bit more, You just can really do your thing in here without having to worry about people actually looking at you and being shy and all of that. So I think it's doper.
So that's obviously a huge love of yours, is all these creations, the beauty, the fashion, all of that. But you're also a very accomplished singer. So let's talk a little bit about, how being a singer and that influence of you talked about, how you used to design your outfits and stuff like that in the real world when you're going to do a show, but you've been in a lot of shows here as well. And how do you, see fashion and music as, kind of intertwined here in the immersive spaces?
I feel like in the real world, I was doing my shows and it was cool and everything, but in here I was kind of more independent, and being able, and I feel like even accepted a little bit more. When you're doing stuff in the real world, you can go out and you do your shows, and I was doing good, you know what I'm saying? But in here, it's like people really love, it's like seeing people flock and coming to my, even from my home, from my karaoke to all of my open mics, everything I do, it's like I'm more in demand in here. People really, it seemed like it trips them out to hear a person going live and singing the way I put my heart into my singing. So the way that I sing in here, I didn't hear people like, oh, she's singing like that through the headset. And it's funny because it's like, I'm singing like this through the headset, but I sing, this is me actually singing. So it's like I put my heart into everything I do, whether I'm in the headset or the real life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this experience, man, I'm telling you, like virtual reality and doing everything that I do and being able to show it all in one space like this has been amazing. So yeah, I do love it. I love it. It's amazing to me.
I have been lucky to hear you sing, and it's very beautiful. You're very talented. I think that it's we've had a lot of musicians in the metaverse. A lot have come on the show and talked about the experience and everything. And it's amazing to hear you talk about how you're singing through the headset, where a lot of people are using recordings simply for the latency and the lag, and it's difficult sometimes. So you have to, if you want it to sound good coming through the headset, you've got to invest in learning that process, whether it's getting microphones or having the music playing next to you and making sure that you're projecting your voice properly and stuff. So that in and of itself is a talent, because you're doing multiple things at the same time. You're not just singing. You're making sure that is coming out good for the audience, which is very interesting.
And I do want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Mike Larry and my best friend Boss, because Mike Larry was the one who told us how to get this monitor and hook it up and make sure that we was coming out, sounding good and not lagging, and that, everything was projected good through the mic. And he told my best friend Underboss, and he went out and got everything just sent to my door. So all I had to do was hook it up. So yeah, shout out to my best friends, the Mike, and also Underboss, Mike Larry, Underboss. Them folks, they came through for me. So ever since you can't ask me to sing without me saying, "Give me a minute, let me hook it up." My mixer so I can sing right. So yeah, it's dope. Yeah.
See, and that's people in the community helping each other so that you can be better at what you do, and that's amazing. And yeah, Mike Lowry does a lot with Over in Horizon with his lounge and a lot of the different open mic nights and stuff. So that's great that you guys collaborate to help each other grow. That's wonderful. Sure. And shout out to Underboss for taking care of getting you what you needed. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little about Horizon Worlds, because we mentioned earlier tonight, this is big news. This is a big change happening right now. Let's start though, at the beginning where, when Meta opened the creator tools and they said, we're going to let people apply for this process and be able to do things here in the metaverse, a huge majority of people were on that right away, signed up, got approved so they could be in the creator program. And I mean, that wasn't that long ago. So, what was it like when that happened and you knew that you had the opportunity now to monetize and actually do business selling your stuff in here?
I feel like when they told us that, when they first opened up the creator program for everybody, that everyone felt like they was opening up the future. You know what I'm saying? We invested a lot in Horizon World, of course. And so people that's been in there from the first beginning, we went through a lot so far as like coming in without legs. I'm sorry, I got a 5-year-old and he wants to love on me right now. That sit down for 1 second. But yeah, so a lot of stuff that they were doing back then, like we went through a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we saw them giving us all these updates and giving us a lot of telling us a lot of things that was going to happen in the future, which made us feel like we had a future. So opening up the creator program to everybody was like, oh yeah, so now we've been in here doing this, like we've been in here going hard. Now they're finna pay us to go hard. So now we really finna go hard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody felt like, yeah, this is the opportunity to get paid for what we love to do, which we was in here freely doing anyway. And now we getting paid to do it. And we feeling like that was opening up something that we're going to grow and be able to stay years and years and show our kids. Like, that was my main thing. I'm like, my son 5. Like, I'm knowing he going to be in here one day building, and I can show him all of the worlds, that I created, which I've created a lot of worlds and been on a lot of worlds. So, yeah, they opened that up, and it gave us a reason to feel like, oh, the future is going to be, we in here, so yeah, this is crazy.
And I feel like it really accelerated, the digital clothing end of it, because before people were mostly focusing on, building the worlds, going in there and before the tri-mesh came on, everybody just had to sit there and build with the primitive shapes, building all the worlds. And, they slowly, first it was like, oh, if you go into the app, you can create a T-shirt with an AI image on it. And everyone thought that was really cool. Then it was like, okay, we're going to allow you to do all the clothes that are in there. You can go in and manipulate and do your thing. And we have seen some amazing clothing designs come out of there. And it's interesting, too, because you could say, oh, well, all these people all building clothes. How much clothes do you need? Do you know that every store you go into, the vibe is completely different? So I can make clothes that are completely different than yours, even though they're the same clothing. What I find aesthetically pleasing and what you find might be worlds apart. Or they might be similar. Like I know personally going over there, I tagged a few worlds that had a lot of, like, one of my things is I love skull clothing. So I went over there and found a bunch of worlds that had skull clothing, and I tagged them, went back, bought some stuff. And, it's nice because it's something for everyone. But now we get this announcement this week or this past week that, that's being taken away. So what was your first reaction when you heard about the sunsetting in VR?
You know what? It's funny because everyone know me. I'm a crybaby. Like, I get very, very emotional about things, especially. But the thing was, it's funny because right before I got that news, I had just told myself, like, a couple of days ago, I was like, I said a prayer, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna allow things that I can't change to, like, overpower me because I was being so emotional. I'm like, I'm gonna end up making myself, overstressing myself or whatever. And it was like, I just had said a prayer about it. And then when I saw the news, it's like I still haven't completely set in like the way it normally would have done for me, because everybody know I would have been crying and some more. I think it's more with me when I go places. It's everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking. And so it's like everybody have so many different things to say. Only thing that's kind of been bothering me the most is the way that people are reacting to the way other people feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like everybody has their right to feel however they feel. We've been in this spot, like me. I've been here for 4 years. Like, for 4 years, I have put my heart into this place because, like I said, everything I do, I put my heart into it. So from me creating cakes, from me singing, from me making clothes, from me doing art, from me making 60 plus worlds in hundreds of worlds of collaborations, looking and thinking about this, like thinking about them telling me, like, oh, it's gonna be over, and I don't know what that really means. And everybody kind of making their own assumptions about it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's very confusing. But at the same time, I'm trying to take the good part out of it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people not doing. It's like I made lasting friendships in here that I wouldn't have never made. And that's what I'm trying to pull from more than the negative asset of it. Of course, I'm hurt. I'm numb. I'm very numb because I never left. I saw so many people leave for months, go and gravitate to other places. Even when people, my best friends left, and they was over there in VR chat, and I was like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, I love Horizon. They know I was a Horizon man all the time, like Horizon Power type person. So this got me numb for real because I don't know how to really feel about it. But I'm very hurt. And I dropped a couple of tears because I went to my first Worlds, and I did drop a couple of tears. But I've been basically trying to cope with it because there's nothing I can really do other than like pick up and move on. But I did learn a lot, and I did get a lot of skills. I showed myself that I could do a lot of things that I never would have basically, probably even tried to do if it wasn't for Horizon World. So, it's a lot.
No, that's a good attitude to have. And the funny thing is that, we come into VR and we become content creators no matter what platform that you're on. The one thing is these are centralized platforms. So we don't own any of this. We think we do because we are the creator. But the reality is, if tomorrow they flip that switch, everything is gone.
Everything is gone.
And it's a great opportunity. But it is very important to remember that, at any given time, this can be gone. And so when AltSpace closed way back when, and, we're coming up on the anniversary in March of that. And when AltSpace closed, everybody had all their eggs in one basket. We used to all spend all day long creating in alt space. We had worlds, we had MREs, we had clothes, we had all these little kits that we created. We had all types of assets that people were involved in different levels. And when they shut their doors and they sunset the program, everything was like, people's heads were spinning, like, what do we do now? Everything's gone. And I think that the one takeaway from that most of us learned was don't put all your eggs in one basket. So majority of the people who came from AltSpace came over here and said, okay, here's Horizon, here's VR chat. Okay, I'm going to choose this one as my home space, but I'm going to visit the other ones and bounce back and forth. I'm not going to make one spot exclusive because that could be gone. And then some people went to Second Life. Some people went to Somnium. Like there's all these other worlds out there that people are on, Cluster, and they are creating in Spatial, and now Utopia is coming along. There's all these different other places. So I think people learned, if this is gone, I have nothing. So I need to make sure that I diversify enough that I actually have someplace to go, even if you're not a creator and you're just somebody who enjoys the space. You need to move around in different neighborhoods. So, this situation has actually revealed a lot about, content creation, world building, all of that. Do you think, it's important for people to understand as a creator that you have access, not ownership?
Right. That's true. It's it's most definitely, it's for me, people were saying that to me, but I was just such a Horizon girl. It's like I saw the future. I really, really saw the future. And it's like they was feeding us the future. You know what I'm saying?
Of course
they was telling us
yes.
like, oh, we're gonna open up where y'all can have more people in your worlds. We changing this, we doing that. And so it's like it's for the people that like, oh yeah, well, we saw this coming. That's fine. Y'all saw this coming, but y'all didn't see exactly this coming, because I felt like they was doing certain things, but just for them to like completely pull the plug on us was like, dang, like we don't get a time span, like we don't get to, you know what I'm saying? I know they don't care though. They're not in here creating. We was the one who built the platform in the first place. Just honestly, we was the one in here making these worlds. We was in here dropping this. We was bringing our friends. We was showing. We was promoting. We was bringing more people to the headset. That's been us. We've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? So of course, when they ready to say, well, we're just going to go to the next big thing, they're going to do that. But for some of us, for the people that send back, well, I don't know where people care, I mean, people can care. Why not? I mean, y'all might have left. But I never took a break.
Spend a lot of time. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I never took a break. For 4 years, I've been in that platform, creating, singing, dancing, doing cakes, doing parties, making people feel love, spreading all type. That's what I've been doing. And so for 4 years, that's what I know. And so it's like for the ones who don't understand why people crying, because people got the right to cry. Why people care, because people got the right to care. Yeah, and I hate, and that's the only thing that's been bothering me. Like I've been super quiet about the whole process. I might talk to boss or my friend Shay Arts, that's my best friend. I'll tell her how I feel emotionally about it. But like so far as seeing all the things and the negative things that people are saying and all the stuff that folks are, man, let them folks cry. If somebody want to cry, if it hurt them, if they were making their money on here, I mean, people was making this was our life on here for real. Like that part of our life where I was paying my bills on here. So of course I care. So let people care, man. If y'all don't care, then just wiggle on that way and don't care. But we care. I ain't gonna lie, like I don't care.
You're totally justified. I mean, everybody's entitled to their feels, and the reality is that for a lot of people, VR is a huge part of their life. There are people who don't work a 9 to 5. There are people who don't have a lot of people around them, whether it's friends or family, and everybody that they hang out with are in here in VR. And so this is a way of life, and it's a huge part of it. So
it helped me through with depression and everything. Like there you go. All of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I most definitely grew love for Horizon and virtual world. I have a 5-year-old where I can sit on my computer and still take care of him and still pay my bills and everything from what I was doing on this headset. So of course I care. I do. I most definitely care.
So let me ask you a question, because, a lot of people who are in here building in Horizon and people who are over here in VR chat and everything. You know, you create a brand and you build that brand. So what advice would you have for people when this is closing? So, you know, I personally think don't lose your brand. Don't walk away from, because Horizon's walking away. Shift gears and move on to another place. Don't lose yourself in what you've built all this time. You might not have the same, you know, monetization capabilities over here, but you could still be creating things and you could still keep your love for what you're doing. The skills you create in here could transfer elsewhere.
Most definitely. And yes, I agree with that for sure. That's what I've been working on so far, is trying to get my mind shifted that way, because it's like, it's easy to want to give up when you feel like, oh, you got comfortable and you was secure and like you was growing in this space you felt. But I would say, no, most definitely don't give up. I got friends that's over here in VR chat that's already like, hey, look, I got worlds for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to sing over here. I'm going to create over here. I'm going to do art over here. I'm going to show. Because it's still skills. You taking your skill set. They can't take that pride from you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I most definitely want to bring the things that I've done there over here. Yeah. And so, yeah, you most definitely will.
I love that. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, and the reality is that if you think back to the beginning when everybody got a headset, and except with the exception of some people, majority people get the headset for entertainment. They get it for gaming. They get it for something to do for socialization. You know, so the first thing you do is you buy the headset. So there's money that went to the creator of the headset. Then you come in here and there are some free apps, but there's also apps where there's in-app purchases. There's also apps you have to pay for. So there's another level of someone else making money off of you. When Meta put the creator program together, they weren't stupid. Yes, you're going to make some money, but they're making money too.
So,
you know, so
for sure, off your clothes and everything.
Absolutely. So everything you're doing is feeding someone else. And so if you are aware of that and you move in that fashion and you sit there and you say, okay, I am aware. I don't own this stuff because at any particular moment it can be gone. I am creating stuff. Yes, I'm the creator. I'm going to make money off of it. Yes, but someone up there is making money off of me too, because it is really no different than being out in the real world. If you are a salesperson in the real world, the company that you're working for is making money off of your sales. You're getting a commission, but they're making money too. You're not the total, unless you are the owner of that company and you're your own creator and you enter the complete entity. You are literally working for someone else. So I think as long as people understand that, you know, then they will have a more realistic expectation. So I'd like to think that this isn't a setback for VR. This is just a shift.
Right. It's a shift. And that's the thing, like when people went, like you said, with the outspace thing happened, it made people be more aware. And then now this happened to us. So of course we'll go to the next spot, but we'll be more aware. It's gonna bring awareness, and we're gonna be all right. You know, I like that song. I heard somebody play that and I love that freaking song, and that's the song I'm gonna wake up with. We gonna be all right, because we are. We gonna because we creative. Like, we created it and we gonna create some more. We gonna keep creating and we're gonna be okay. That's why I think I haven't cried as much as you would think I would, because we're gonna be fine. And I do want to take time out to shout out my best friend Shay Arts, because I see you got her picture up there. My best friend Shay Arts, she created that of me.
She's
she
so talented.
Because I'm her best friend, and all of that. So shout out to my best friend Shay Arts.
And I'd like to point out that Shay Arts has so much artwork out there. She works in some of these special painting programs here in VR. She also has an art gallery here in VR chat. So if you haven't checked it out, you should check that out. So shout out to Shay Arts.
She dope like that in real life, and she's my real life best friend. She be on my couch for real. She gonna be on my real couch,
I love that.
My real bed, all of that. Wednesday, so I had to throw that in there too, just let her know I'm still waiting on her to come back up.
I love it.
So my bestie.
What is next for you? You know, where do you see yourself? I know you're coming over here to play a little bit, but do you see yourself still creating over here and moving forward with everything and still singing?
I'm real big on the work. If I'm on this headset, you know what I'm saying. So I'm most definitely, I might play a little bit, but I'm most definitely trying to find where I can work. You know what I'm saying. So I like I said, my best friend, he already showed me a couple of worlds or whatever, and so we most definitely, I'm gonna be working on some worlds over here. I'm gonna be singing over here. If people can book me, I'm most definitely ready for that. And I've been looking at a couple of more places. People's telling me about some dancer or something. I'm gonna go and check out some more stuff. I'm still out here. This is my thing. So I'm most definitely not giving up. And yeah, so I'll be looking out for more creations, more singing, more everything. Worlds. I'm most definitely, I'm out here. So yeah, it's not over for me. It's not over.
So if there's anyone out there who would like to collab with you, they can reach you on Instagram. And are you open to collabing with people here in VR chat?
I'm always open to collab. Like everybody know, man, I love everybody. I don't have no problems with nobody. So most definitely, if y'all want to collab with me, y'all know how to get in touch with me. And I'm here. I sing, I do art, I do everything. Like I'm still doing everything. I'm out here. Yeah. And I'm also trying to work on making avatars for VR chat too. So that's something, be looking out for that. I'm coming. My creative juices. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you one last question. What advice would you give to some people who may be, relatively new coming into VR or thinking about coming into VR, and then they hear this big news coming from one of the biggest representatives of VR? How can you tell them not to be scared away and to still come in here, take advantage of the opportunities, get involved, even if it's just on the fun level? Because, this is obviously something that when it's Mark Zuckerberg, everybody listens. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just VR people who are hearing this news. Because I know personally, people have been coming to me going, did you hear about this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware of what's going on, And they're like, oh, so all those people who are going to buy headsets wasted them. I'm like, no, they didn't. This is one little piece of the metaverse.
I mean, yeah, I would say just still, I mean, if you bought a headset, this is not the only place to be. Like Horizon World is not the only place. Like it's other places. I would say explore. It's actually, if they just bought a headset, they kind of lucky. They don't have to feel the pain. Like they don't have years and years worth of worlds that you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, man, just explore, keep doing what you do, have fun, and find something that keep finding you some worlds and jump around. And because the virtual reality in period is just fun. It's different.
Absolutely.
To be immersive in a world, like to be able to be inside your game, like most definitely not a waste. So just keep doing what you do. Come on. We gonna still have fun.
Right?
Most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely still opportunities.
At the end of the day, whether you're in here playing games or you're in here creating, you should be having fun no matter what you're doing. This should enhance your life. This should be something that makes your life better. So if you're in here and you see opportunities you want to get involved in, we've said this before, reach out to the people who are doing things in here and, be part of that. Be present there. Reach out and say, hey, I see that you're doing this. How'd you get involved? I want to do something like this. We should all be working together. The community should help the community grow. We don't need to be against each other. We can all work together. There is more than enough opportunity in here. And there's so many more people outside of our personal community that we don't even know that are here in VR. You never know where you could find an opportunity.
And I'm hoping that people, instead of some of the messages I saw, like, don't come to VR, I hope there's more people with open arms that's willing to help others that's coming. Because y'all already know, people from Horizon, it's like, they got to find somewhere to go. That some of them going to come to VR chat. If y'all over here, just open your arms and do a little helping, pull some people up, show some people how to make this space great, because we can all make this space great together. Like it's enough room. This platform ain't just y'all platform, it's everybody's platform as well. So I mean, people's gonna be gravitating over here and everywhere else. So yeah, just if y'all can help, got a helping hand, just help people so they can get started over here and make it not so hard with this transition, because this is hitting the community pretty hard for some of us. Like, yeah. it's crazy. So yeah,
it is. And I would just offer the advice to any of you out there that are, newly coming in here and aren't familiar. Just please diversify. Don't put all your thoughts and all your efforts into just one spot, because this is something that can happen at any given time. VR chat, the plug could get pulled tomorrow. We hope it doesn't, because we're enjoying what we're doing. But the reality is we don't own these platforms. So just, if you decide you're going to invest, make sure you have the time, money, and the wherewithal to deal with what can happen with something like this. So thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. And I appreciate you coming out tonight. Of course. And I want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors. We'll start with Fuchsia from Virtual Fitness Group. She is the virtual fitness bully who gets everyone fun to have fit and have fun doing it. We want to thank Cybershay out here in the audience, who is virtually doing everything here in the both VR and IRL. We want to thank Ice Cold Stacks and BYOB Events, for coming out here and helping people find a platform to perform, hold their events, even streaming events in here. We have Tinker Love 1980 from Beauty of Tink, who is helping people both IRL and here in the metaverse. And we have Kip VR, who built this world. We have DJ Marcus J, who runs the camera system that he built for us. And we have Rich from Hume AI and Lux VR, who is out there and he is doing trainings for people to help them market their brands better with different software programs and AI. And next week, we are going to have Meta Coach on. He's going to come over here and talk to us about the things he's been doing here in the metaverse and how he's been helping people and kind of being a really positive influence to people here in the metaverse. And sometimes in the chaos of every day and all the different crazy things that go on, it's nice to have somebody who is trying to put forth a positive effort. So we're going to bring him in here and he's going to talk about how he's taken the things he does in the real world and brought them in here and applied it in the metaverse, because this season is all about application. So thank you so much for sharing your story again, Cutie. And we're going to be looking for
one more
you.
thing.
Of course.
One more thing before I forget. Even though they saying it's almost over, it's not over yet. I have a royal ball going on over there in Horizon World on Saturday at 8:30 Central Time, and I will be dropping the dress store. It'll probably be tomorrow now, but early tomorrow, and you can come in and get your dresses, get your suits, get your dates, and come see us 8:30 Central Time next Saturday. So yeah, it's not over yet. Royal ball coming.
Thank you for sharing that with us. If you actually send me a flyer, I can put it up on Crypto City. We'll share it with everybody. Great. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you to Blue Moon, as always, for running the slides and taking the video for tomorrow. Thank you to DJ Marcus, who's down in the camera room, making this video possible for everyone to see up on YouTube. So thank you all for your help. And thank you all for coming and visiting with us tonight. And we'll see you next week at Crypto City. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice.
And we're done.